Hello, this is Mart back again. I'm an actor and filmmaker based out of South Florida, and for this video, I want to just talk about this disgusting use of AI. So yeah, we're talking about AI again. So yeah, I have made it very clear on my channel that I do not support AI in any way, shape, or form when it comes to the arts, in a sense, and I guess this is somewhat adjacent to the arts, whether that be in filmmaking or music or anything like that. I do not support AI. About a month and a half ago, I discussed my thoughts on that disgusting, utterly disgusting and depraved Kalashi commercial that a bunch of charlatan filmmakers made, and I thought that was completely disgusting. And again, I have to discuss this disgusting use of AI that I am just completely appalled by. So for those who don't know, Jim Acosta, he is an ex-CNN reporter. He did an interview over at Substack. I'm using my computer here. And for those who don't know what the interview entailed, it was him interviewing one of the victims, one of the dead teenage victims of the Stoneman Douglas shooting. Stoneman Douglas, by the way, happened about an hour and a half from where I live. On top of that, so that also just makes it a little bit more, at least for me as a Florida native, a little bit more reprehensible. And why? Again, this is a complete disgusting and depraved use of AI. I do not understand it. Now, there is a little bit more going on to the story where I guess I could say my anger should be tempered a little bit with, and in some respects, I do understand why, and I am using that term, why, extremely loosely here, why it was used. However, the way it was unfortunately, disgustingly and depravedly used at the end, this I do not agree with. So the one thing I could kind of see a little bit as to why it was used is because Joaquin Oliveira's family, his father, Manuel Oliveira, at least that's the one I've seen comment most. I'm pretty sure his mom has a similar sentiment to this from what I understand, or from what I'm able to see. But his family, I'm going to start off with the family statement first, but they've basically said that, hey, if your issue is with the usage of AI, then you have the wrong priorities, because your main issue should be on the school shooting victims and all this. And from what it seems, and from a lot of the other stuff that he said, it seems that this was actually his idea, so not Jim Acosta. Doesn't mean he's off the hook in any sense of the word. Disgusting. But it does seem like it does start off with the family where they contacted Jim Acosta, and it seems like they also tried to contact a few other reporters in regards to this, to do this AI video, this AI disgusting thing of a video, to promote gun issues and school shooting, or just shooting victim issues and stuff like that. Those type of discussions. And in a sense, I do actually understand where the father is coming from. And I'm not going to sit here and say that how he grieves is inappropriate. We all grieve different ways, and that's just something that he went through back in 2017, 2018 when this happened. So he has, of course, for obvious reasons, he has a personal attachment to this, and I'm not going to say the way he's grieving is wrong. I'm not going to say that his idea for wanting to somehow connect with the son, even if in an AI form, it's wrong. And if he was doing this in private, by all means, go for it. I do think there are other ways he could go through that, maybe just looking at pictures of his son, or hearing voice messages, or whatever, looking at videos of his son. But if that's how he wants to grieve and go forth with it, so be it. I'm honestly not gonna judge. And I think in that case, in a more private setting, that is a truly appropriate way or use of AI. However, the way it panned out at the end with this disgusting, depraved interview at the end with Jim Acosta, this charlatan journalist, which I'm just gonna say he's a charlatan, like no right-thinking journalist, left or right, by the way, conservative or liberal, or however you want to chalk this up to, no one in their sane right mind should have agreed to this. From what it seems, a lot of people did decline this, but for whatever reason, this disgusting charlatan agreed to this. Now, to go on with that, as I said, this is going to be used because apparently Manuel Oliveira, he is going to use this to platform Joaquin Oliveira, or a AI Joaquin Oliveira. And I think in that sense, it's also kind of discussing use. Now you're having AI social media, which that in general has always just been a slippery slope, and it's always been discussing in whatever means. But now you're having somebody who is confirmed dead in a very, very tragic, violent, vile, wicked way, and you're gonna try to use their likeness in that sense to discuss gun rights and gun restrictions and all that. I think that the way that's being used, that way that it's gonna be used, the way that it's gonna be handled, I just think it's completely disgusting. And again, I am trying not to put full blame on the father here and his family, because again, this does come down to a grieving issue, and I'm not even gonna say that they should put their trust in God or anything like that. I mean, I do think they should. Don't get me wrong, but even then, like to a more secular extent, so to speak, just get therapy and whatever. I genuinely just do not think this is the proper way to handle this in any way, shape, or form. And from what I've seen, or better said, I haven't seen any other Stoneman Douglas survivors or victims or people who were affected, like the parents of these victims, like come out and either support or deny, like which because nobody, I'll be honest, nobody should have really thought about this in the first place. Again, maybe for your own personal usage, that's completely fine, but anything past that for a more public use to discuss rights or to do this disgusting interview, I just do not fathom it at all. For me, it literally makes no sense, and they're basically, I mean, I was gonna say that this is basically harassment, but again, if the family is approving of this, is it really harassment? Like, that's where I will admit, I do kind of struggle a little bit, because this does come down to how the family themselves is grieving, but at the same time, I do not think at all that this is a proper way to actually continue on with this. I think really at most, what they should logically do, and in a very respectful manner, what they should do is, yes, they could still use pictures of him, and maybe like show videos of when he was a child, or whatever have you, and then use that to further propagate any gun issues that they may have. Like, hey, this is why we should, lessen gun, what's it called, not gun rights, but like, hey, people who have mental illnesses, that's why they shouldn't have guns, because this is what happened to my son. Look at his face. Look at this video of when he was like 5 years old, this and that. I don't think using an AI version of Joaquin Oliveira or any of the victims, like across the board, whether it be Joaquin Oliveira or Alyssa Aludef or Meadow Pollock or any of these other people who died in this horrific attack, Gina Montalto, any of these people, Nicholas Duarte, any of these people, I don't think that they should be used in any capacity in this extent. And I'm not gonna lie, there is a part of me that is both saddened and angered by the fact and the complicity of the father in this case. And again, I'm trying to see both sides. Like, I understand you're grieving, but like the way you're doing this, I just do not think, with my full heart, I do not think this is the appropriate way to grieve and get your message out there. Again, if this was just personal use, fine, by all means go ahead, but like, to put this out in the world, I honestly do truly think this is a disgusting use of your son. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, and this doesn't come down to like an AI issue versus a shooting school gun rights issue or anything like that. This doesn't, I think you could be angry at both situations for very different reasons, but one doesn't need to overpower the other one. I am angry at the use of AI and the way he's being used. By that same logic, I'm also mad at the fact that your son and the rest of his classmates died in this horrific attack. I'm mad by the way that the system failed to protect your children, whether it be the police officer who was a coward and didn't do jack at all while he was there hearing your son get murdered, hearing his classmates get murdered. I'm just as mad as that, as by the way that the system failed to allow Nicholas Cruz, that coward, to do what he did despite knowing his history of mental illness and his history with the law. I am mad on both issues, but to say that you being mad on one issue over the other, or is over the other, that for me, that's just lunacy in my opinion. And again, I'm trying to be respectful in this case because I understand that you're grieving, but at the same time, I honestly just feel that this is a complete wrong way to use AI, to use the likeness of your son, and for Jim Acosta to essentially approve of this, to allow whatever little journalistic integrity he may or may not have. I'll be honest, this is the first time I've ever heard of him, so I'm not sure how, I guess, integrity he is, or moralistic he is when it comes to journalism practice. But in my opinion, him doing this right off the bat, I think it just leaves a very sour taste in my mouth, and makes me think he is an immoral, disgusting, and depraved human being, wicked human being, basically evil human being, for even attempting or allowing this to happen. I'm being serious, and I honestly just truly find this offensive. If this was me, if I would have died in an attack like this, I would honestly be pissed off that my likeness is being used. That even if my parents were grieving, I would honestly be pissed off that this is how they're choosing to move forward. I just do not understand the logic behind it, and I just really wanted to talk about this because I really want to get it off my chest. Because again, my distaste, my dislike for AI is you know this. Just watch the Kalshi video with those charlatans. I'm pretty sure I've discussed AI a few other times in the past and a few other videos, but Kalshi is that's the most recent example I know right off the bat. So my distaste for AI in general, you guys know I basically despise the use of AI, but in this capacity, I just find it extremely repulsive, disgusting, depraved, borderline wickedness and evil. That's basically how I view it. So yeah, that's basically what I want to say, discuss about, talk about right now. We just want to get that off my chest. And yeah, comment your thoughts on all this down below. Let me know. Normally I would show you guys a link, provide the link down to the video about this, but no, I'm gonna save you that. You can search it up if you want. I don't recommend it because again, it's just disgusting, and it's his likeness is very robotic. Like they took the main picture that we all know of Joaquin Olivera with like the sunset and the beanie and all that, and it's also just unnatural. It's unnatural. Like it's just disgusting, unnatural. Like even the concept of, again, private use, sure, fine, whatever. I don't care. You do whatever you want in your own time. In public use, this is just weird. It is depraved. And I'll be honest. I of course I don't know who, like personally I never met Joaquin Olivera, but I highly doubt that he sounds like a robot talking about Star Wars in these very concise words. Because yeah, I saw a few clips and there's a part where Joaquin Olivera asked Jim Acosta what his favorite movie was. He was saying Star Wars, and it's like, oh yeah, Star Wars, it's a great movie, and he sounds like a robot because it's AI. It sounds like a robot. His movements are not natural. Like none of that is natural. It's unnatural, you know? It's whatever. Comment all that down below. Let me know, what are your thoughts on this? If you want to search up the video, there's a search bar right there. I am not going to provide the link. I'm not going to torture you through that. I'm not going to let you watch that depraved stuff down there. But if you, for whatever reason, want to watch it, the search bars are up there. Be my guest. But that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.